The alarm rang through Gagarin Station at exactly 0347 hours. Officer Park stumbled from his bunk and ran to the monitoring room. His hands shook as he pulled up the data on the main screen. The signal was unlike anything he had ever seen before. "This can't be real," he whispered to himself. But the computer confirmed it again and again. Someone out there was calling for help. Someone not human. The signal came from a star system 47 light-years away. It repeated every 30 seconds in perfect mathematical patterns. Park had studied xenolinguistics in academy. He knew what this meant. This was first contact. Real, actual first contact. Within hours, the signal reached Earth. The United Earth Council held an emergency meeting. Scientists argued with politicians. Military leaders talked about risks. Some said it might be a trap. Others said humanity had waited centuries for this moment. Captain Tae-won sat in his apartment in Seoul, watching the news. He was drinking his morning coffee when his phone rang. The voice on the other end was Admiral Chun from Earth Defense Command. "Captain, we need the Horizon. We need your crew." Tae-won set down his cup slowly. The Horizon was the fastest ship humanity had ever built. It could cross 47 light-years in 3 weeks. But 3 weeks was still 3 weeks. Whatever was happening out there might be over by then. "When do we leave?" Tae-won asked. "Tomorrow. Choose your crew carefully. You'll be representing all of humanity." The next 20 hours passed in a blur. Tae-won called his best people. First was Dr. Ji-woo, the xenolinguist who had predicted alien contact for years. She answered on the first ring and said yes before he finished asking. Lieutenant Hyun-soo was training Marines when the call came. He listened to Tae-won explain the mission. "Sounds dangerous," he said. "I'm in." Engineer De-yoon was harder to find. She was deep in the Horizon's engine room, already running system checks. "I heard the news," she said. "I've been getting the ship ready all night. We can leave in 6 hours if you want." Medic NG joined last. She was quiet and thoughtful. "If there are injured beings out there, they'll need help. I don't care if they're human or not." The Horizon launched from Earth orbit as the sun rose over the Pacific. Millions watched on screens around the world. Some prayed. Some cheered. Some worried they would never see the crew again. Inside the ship, Dr. Ji-woo worked in her lab. She played the alien signal over and over. She could hear the desperation in it. The mathematical patterns were breaking down in the later transmissions. Whatever was sending this message was running out of time. "It's definitely a distress call," she told Tae-won on the bridge. "But there's something else. Fear. Real fear." Tae-won nodded. He had been a soldier before becoming a captain. He knew what fear sounded like. Even across the stars, the first week of travel was quiet. The crew ran drills and checked equipment. Lieutenant Hyun-soo trained his security team for every scenario they could imagine. Alien environments, toxic atmospheres, hostile forces. They prepared for everything. Engineer Dan-yoon spent her time with the ship's weapons. The Horizon wasn't a warship, but it had defensive systems. Lasers for clearing space debris. Missiles for destroying asteroids. She wondered if they would be enough. In the medical bay, Yoonji studied every piece of xenobiology data humanity had collected. It wasn't much. Some bacteria from Mars, strange proteins from Europa's ocean. She tried to imagine what an alien body might be like. How would she heal something she had never seen before? On the 8th day, they received a response to their own transmission. Dr. Ji-woo called everyone to the bridge. Her hands trembled as she played the message. The alien voice was beautiful. It sounded like wind chimes and flowing water. Gavoo's translation program works slowly, matching sounds to mathematical concepts. "They call themselves Valen," she said. "They're thanking us for coming. They say they're dying." The crew fell silent. In the background of the alien message, they could hear something else. Explosions, screaming, the sounds of war. "What's attacking them?" Hyun-soo asked. G-Woo shook her head. "The translation isn't clear. They call it the Endless Harvest. Machines, I think. Ancient machines that won't stop." Tae-won stood from his chair. He looked at each of his crew members. We have 2 more weeks until we arrive. I want everyone ready for combat. I know the council said observe only. But if we get there and find a genocide happening, I'm not going to watch. Billion smiled. Good, I've been modifying our systems. We might not be a warship, but we can fight if we need to. The second week felt longer. They received more messages from the Valen. Each one was more desperate than the last. Cities falling, billions dead. A civilization that had existed for thousands of years was being erased. Why don't they fight back? Hyensu asked during a briefing. G-Wu explained what she had learned. They evolved on a peaceful world. Low gravity, no predators. They never developed weapons. They don't even have a word for war in their language. When the machines came, they had no way to defend themselves. Everyone has a way to fight, Hyensu said quietly. Not everyone comes from Earth, Zhiwu replied. Not everyone comes from a world that made them into survivors. On the 20th day, they dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The Valen system appeared on their screens. Even from millions of kilometers away, they could see the fires. Entire planets were burning. Dear God, Yunji whispered. Tae-One gripped his chair. All hands battle stations. Jiwoo, send a message. Tell them Earth has arrived. Tell them they're not alone anymore. The horizon moved forward into the dying system. Behind them, Earth was 47 light-years away. Help could not come. Reinforcements did not exist. They were one ship against whatever had destroyed a civilization, but they were human. They were from Earth, and Earth had taught them how to fight. The screens showed horror. Tae-One had been in combat before, but never anything like this. 3 planets in the Valen system were under attack. Massive machines, each the size of a city, moved between worlds. They fired beams of red light that cut through everything. Buildings melted. Shields failed. People died. How many of those things are there? Hyensu asked. The computer counted. 3,417 capital ships. Approximately 50,000 smaller attack craft. Unknown number of ground units. The bridge fell silent. The horizon was 1 ship. 1 small exploration vessel with a crew of 80 humans. Captain, Dean said from engineering. Those machines are using our scanning pulses to target us. They know we're here. Tae-One watched as a dozen harvester ships changed course. They were heading straight for the horizon. He had seconds to decide. Take us into the asteroid belt. Use the rocks for cover. The horizon dove into a field of spinning debris. The harvester ships followed. Their weapons lit up the darkness, destroying asteroids in massive explosions. They're persistent, Hyensu said. They're machines, Daewoo replied. They don't get tired. They don't give up. A message came through on the alien frequency. Dr. Jiwo's translation program worked faster now. She had been learning the Valen language for 3 weeks. It's from the planet surface. Someone named Kalsei. They're asking who we are. Tell them we're from Earth. Tell them we received their call for help. Yiwu sent the message. The response came back immediately. Even through the translation, they could hear the emotion. They're crying, Jiwu said softly. They thought they were alone. They thought no one in the galaxy would help them. How many are left? Tae-One asked. Jiwu listened to the incoming data. Her face went pale. 7 million. They had 8 billion last month. Inji covered her mouth. The numbers were too big to understand. Entire worlds of people gone. The harvester ships were getting closer. The horizon dodged between asteroids, but the space was running out. I need a plan, people, Tae-One said. Hyensu studied the enemy ships. They're old. Really old? The design is nothing like modern tech. But they adapt. Every time the Valen hit them with an energy weapon, the machines modified their shields to absorb it. So energy weapons don't work? Tae-One said. Not anymore. The Valen tried for weeks. The harvesters learned too fast. Diyun spoke up from engineering. What about kinetic weapons? Old-fashioned missiles and bullets? Hyunsu pulled up the data. The Valen don't use those. They never developed them. Their whole philosophy is about energy manipulation and harmonics. A strange smile crossed Dion's face. But we did. We have missiles. We have railguns. We have things that go boom. Those are for asteroid mining, Taewon said. Everything's a weapon if you use it right. A harvester destroyer broke through the asteroid field. It was massive, easily 50 times the size of the horizon. Its weapons charged with red light. Captain, we need to decide now, the pilot said. Taewon made his choice. Do you give me everything we have? Hyunsu, target their main weapon systems? Everyone else, hold on. The horizon spun around. It was a crazy move, turning to face an enemy that outgunned them completely. But the humans had something the harvesters didn't expect. 3 mining missiles launched. The harvester's shields activated, expecting energy weapons. The shields did nothing against solid metal moving at thousands of meters per second. The missiles struck home. Explosions tore through the harvester's hull. The machine tried to adapt, tried to compensate. But it had never fought anything like this before. It's working. The pilot shouted. Keep firing, Taewon ordered. More missiles. The horizon's railgun activated, sending tungsten rounds through space. Each shot hit like a meteor. The harvester began to break apart. On the planet below, Kalsei and the other Valen watched in shock. The small alien ship was fighting back. More than fighting. It was winning. The harvester exploded in a ball of fire. The horizon flew through the debris field, already targeting the next enemy ship. Captain, we're getting a message from the planet, Guwu said. Kalsei wants to know how we did that. How we destroyed a harvester? Taewon wiped sweat from his face. Tell them we're from a world that taught us to fight. Tell them we're here to help. The translation went out. The response came back fast. Kalsei was asking questions. What kind of world? What kind of species fights like this? They don't understand, Uwu said. The Valen evolved without predators. Without war? They can't imagine a species that grew up fighting. Explain it to them later, Taewon said. Right now, I need to know their situation. How many safe zones do they have? Where are the survivors? The data came through. 7 cities remained, each protected by failing energy shields. 2 million Valen in each city. When the shields fell, the harvesters would move in. How long until the shields fail? Taewon asked. 2 days, Zhiwu translated. Maybe 3. Hyunsu pulled up a tactical map. We can't defend 7 cities with 1 ship. We need to take out the command structure. Find whatever's controlling these machines and destroy it. Do the Valen know where that is? Zhiwu sent the question. The answer came back with coordinates. There's a moon. Dead world, no atmosphere. The harvesters are using it as a base. Kalsei says thousands of ships come and go from there. Taeyun studied the data. It's a hub. A command center. If we take that out, maybe the fleet loses coordination. Maybe isn't good enough, Taewon said. It's all we have, Hyunsu replied. More harvester ships were approaching. The horizon couldn't stay and fight forever. They had limited ammunition, limited fuel, limited time. Taewon looked at his crew. They were scared. They had every right to be, but they were also ready. Here's what we're going to do, he said. We're going to save as many Valen as we can. Then we're going to that moon, and we're going to end this. How? The pilot asked. Taewon smiled. It was not a kind smile. We're going to show these machines what happens when you mess with a species from Earth. A new message came from Kalsei. Jiwoo translated it, her voice breaking. They're asking if we're really going to fight. If we're really going to stand with them. Tell them yes, Taewon said. Tell them humans don't abandon people who ask for help. Tell them Earth has arrived. The message went out across the Valen system. In 7 cities, millions of crystalline beings looked up at their screens. They saw the small ship from Earth. They saw it turn toward the harvester fleet. They saw hope for the first time in months. The horizon accelerated into battle. Behind them, the harvester fleet began to move. The machines calculated. The machines adapted. But they had never faced Deathworlders before. History was about to be made. The first city was 30 million kilometers away. The horizon pushed its engines to maximum. Behind them, 15 harvester ships gave chase. More were coming. "We can't outrun them forever," the pilot said. "We don't need forever," Taewon replied. "Just long enough." In engineering, Diane worked like a demon. She had converted cargo drones into missiles. Mining equipment became weapons. Even the food storage containers were being packed with explosive materials. "This is insane," her assistant said. "Insane works," Jun replied. "Trust me." Han-Soo gathered his security team in the armory. 20 Marines, the best Earth had. They checked their weapons and armor. Each one knew they might not come back. "Here's the situation," Han-Soo told them. "We're going to board a harvester ship. We're going to fight machines that have destroyed billions of aliens. Anyone want to leave?" No one moved. Sergeant Bora stepped forward. She was the toughest soldier Han-Soo had ever met. "Lieutenant, these machines never fought humans before." "Let's teach them why that's a mistake," the team cheered. It was a warrior's cheer, raw and fierce. The Valen didn't have sounds like that in their language. Dr. Ji Woo sat in her lab, talking with Kalsei through the communication system. The Valen was confused by everything humans did. "You willingly face death?" Kalsei asked. "You choose to fight when you could flee? We came here to help," Ji Woo explained. "Running away isn't help, but you are so few. The harvesters are so many." Wu thought about how to explain. "Kalsei, where we come from, being outnumbered is normal. Earth is a hard world. Gravity twice what you have. Predators everywhere. Storms that can destroy cities. We learned to fight or we died. Your world sounds terrible. It made us strong. Strong enough to help you." The horizon reached the first city. The Valen shields were flickering. 3 harvester destroyers were bombarding it with red beams. Each hit made the shield weaker. "Target those destroyers," Taewon ordered. "All weapons." The horizon attacked from above. Missiles and railgun rounds tore into the first harvester. The machine tried to turn, tried to adapt its shields. Too slow. The destroyer exploded. The second harvester learned. Its shields modified in seconds, but Dayun had expected that. She launched different missiles, ones filled with metal shrapnel. The shields blocked energy but not solid matter. The shrapnel ripped through the hull like paper. "Two down!" The pilot shouted. The third harvester retreated. It was transmitting data, sharing what it learned with the entire fleet. The machines were adapting. "They're getting smarter," Han-Soo said. "So are we," Taewon replied. "Dayun, what else do you have?" "Everything." "We're throwing everything at them." The city shield stabilized. On the ground, 2 million Valen looked up in wonder. The small Earth ship was fighting for them. "Dying for them." Kalsei sent a message. "The other cities are under heavy attack. Can you help them too?" Taewon checked the map. 7 cities, dozens of harvester ships at each one. The math was impossible. "We need a better plan," he said. Han-Soo had an idea. "What if we don't just defend? What if we attack their weak points? Take out ships before they reach the cities? We'd need to know where they're coming from." "The moon base," Dijin said. "That's where they launch from. If we watch the pattern, we can intercept them." It was risky. It meant splitting their attention between defense and offense. But staying defensive would only delay the end. "Do it," Taewon decided. The horizon began a new pattern. They would defend the city until its shields stabilized, then race to intercept harvester ships leaving the moon base. Each attack was fast and brutal. Humans didn't fight fair. They ambushed, they used tricks, they struck and ran. The Valen watched in amazement. This wasn't how war worked in their understanding. This was chaos. This was violence on a level they couldn't imagine. But it was working. Over 3 days, the horizon destroyed 47 harvester ships. It was a tiny number compared to the thousands still active, but it bought time. The city shields held. The civilians survived. In the medical bay, Yunji treated her first Valen patient, a civilian who was injured in a bombing. The Valen's body was so different from humans, crystal structures instead of bones, light-based nerves instead of electricity. But pain was universal, fear was universal. "You're safe now," Yunji told the patient through the translator. "Rest." The Valen looked at her with large, gentle eyes. "Why do you help us? You don't know us." Double quotes EU. Yunji smiled. "Because you asked? That's enough." On the fourth day, everything changed. The Harvester fleet stopped attacking the cities. All the ships began moving toward one point: the horizon. "They've identified us as the primary threat," Hyunsu said. Tae-1 watched as hundreds of red dots converged on their position. "How many?" 300 ships, all heading here." The bridge fell silent. They had fought well. They had saved millions. But 300 ships was too many. "We can't win this," the pilot said quietly. "No," Tae-1 agreed. "But we can make them pay for every meter," Diane called from engineering. "Captain, I have a crazy idea. I love crazy ideas." "The moon base. It's the hub. If we destroy it, the Harvester fleet loses coordination. They'll be confused. The Valen might have a chance to fight back. How do we destroy a base protected by thousands of ships? We ram it. Use the horizon itself as a missile. Overload the reactor at point-blank range. The explosion would be big enough." Tae-1 understood immediately. "That's a suicide mission." "I know, but it would work." The crew looked at each other. They had come 47 light years. They had fought machines from a dead empire. They had saved millions of lives. Was this how it ended? Kalsey's voice came through the speakers. "Horizon crew, we're receiving reports. The Harvester fleet is moving away from our cities. They're all targeting you." "We know," Zhuwu replied. "You've drawn them away from us. You've given us time to evacuate, to escape. You've saved us." "Not yet," Tae-1 said. "But we will." He stood and faced his crew. "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to punch through that fleet. We're going to reach that moon. And we're going to make sure these machines never hurt anyone again." Bora spoke up. "And if we don't make it, then we don't make it. But the Valen will remember us. Earth will remember us. We came when someone called for help. That matters." The crew nodded. Fear was there, but so was determination. They were human. They were from Earth, and Earth had taught them how to finish what they started. The horizon turned toward the moon base. 300 Harvester ships moved to intercept. The battle for the Valen system was about to reach its final moment. The Harvester fleet formed a wall. 300 ships, all focused on one target. The horizon looked tiny in comparison, like a bird flying into a storm. "All power to forward shields," Tae-1 ordered. "Divert everything. Life support, weapons, communications. Everything." The ship shuddered as energy flowed to the front. They would survive longer this way, maybe long enough. "Entering range in 30 seconds, the pilot said. Her voice was steady despite the fear. Hyunsu and his Marines stood ready in the shuttle bay. If the horizon broke through, they would board the moon base. If not, at least they would die fighting. Sergeant Bora checked her weapon one last time. "You know what I love about humanity?" "What?" Hyunsu asked. "We're too stupid to know when we're beaten." The team laughed. It was gallows humor, but it helped. The first wave of Harvester fire hit the shields. Red beams of ancient energy splashed against the barrier. The horizon kept moving forward. "Shields at 80%, Yoon called out. More fire. The shields dropped to 60%, then 40. "We're not going to make it," someone said. "Yes, we are," Tae-1 replied. "Yoon, what about those cargo drones you modified?" "Ready to launch. But Captain, we'll need them for the moon base." "Launch half now. Clear us a path." 20 drones shot forward. Each one was packed with explosives and set to ram. The Harvesters tried to shoot them down, but the drones were small and fast. They crashed into enemy ships like meteors. Explosions lit up space. The wall of Harvesters broke apart. A gap opened. "There!" Tae-1 pointed. "Through that gap, full speed." The horizon surged forward. More Harvester ships fired. The shields failed completely. Energy beams struck the hull directly. Sections of the ship began to burn. "We're losing atmosphere in Deck 3, Dian reported. "Fire in Engineering Section 2, casualties reported. Yunji ran through the corridors with her medical team. Crew members were injured, some were dead. She tried to save everyone she could. The horizon broke through the harvester line. The moon was ahead, massive and gray. Thousands of machines moved around it like insects around a nest. "Kalse, are you listening?" Jiwoo called out. The Valen responded immediately. "We hear you, Horizon. We're going to destroy the command base. When we do, the harvester fleet will be confused. You need to use that moment. Hit them with everything you have. We understand. Horizon crew, you have given us hope, given us a future. We will not forget." Jiwoo closed her eyes. She wished she could have learned more about the Valen, their culture, their dreams. But there was no time left. "Captain, the harvesters are pursuing," Hyunsu said. 200 ships on our tail. "Let them come." "They're too late." The horizon approached the moon. The surface was covered with harvester structures, towers, docking bays, and in the center, a massive command hub that pulsed with red light. "That's the heart," Daein said. "That's what we need to hit." "How close do we need to be?" "As close as possible. The reactor overload needs to be right on top of it." Taewon understood. This wasn't going to be a missile strike. They had to ram directly into the command hub. "All hands abandon ship," he ordered. "Get to the shuttles. You have 2 minutes." "Captain, what about you?" Jiwoo asked. "Someone needs to fly this ship. Now go." The crew hesitated. No one wanted to leave their captain. But orders were orders. They ran for the shuttle bay. Hyunsu and his marines grabbed the wounded. Yunji helped carry stretchers. Daein stayed in engineering, setting up the reactor overload sequence. "Ji-Yoon, time to go?" Taewon called over the comm. "Almost done, Captain. Just need to finalize the timing. Do it on the shuttle." "That's an order." Silence. Then Daeun spoke quietly. "Sir, the overload needs to be triggered manually. Someone has to stay to make sure it happens at the right moment. If it goes off too early or too late, the command hub survives." Taewon felt his chest tighten. "Daeun, no." "Captain, I'm the only one who knows the systems well enough. You know I'm right." He did know, and he hated it. "Daeun, you don't have to do this." "Yes, I do." "Someone called for help?" we answered. "Now I'm finishing what we started." In the shuttle bay, Jiwoo heard the conversation over the speakers. She tried to run back to engineering, but Hyunsu held her. "She made her choice," he said. "Honor it." The shuttles launched. The horizon was almost empty now. Just Taewon on the bridge and Daeun in engineering. "Captain, the command hub is targeting us," Daeun said. "Massive energy buildup. They're going to fire. Let them. We'll hit first." The horizon accelerated to full speed. The moon rushed toward them. Harvester defense systems fired. Energy beams cut into the ship. But it was too late to stop them now. "Daeun, it's been an honor," Taewon said. "The honor was mine, sir." "Tell Earth we did our duty. Tell them we made a difference." "I will." On the bridge screen, Taewon saw the shuttles reaching safe distance. His crew would survive. That was something. The command hub grew larger. He could see details now. Ancient machinery. Structures older than human civilization, all about to end. "Captain, you should eject," Daeun said. "I can handle this." "I'm not leaving you alone, engineer. We started this mission together. We finish it together." Yoon laughed. It was a sound of pure courage. "Sounds good to me, Captain." The horizon struck the command hub. Metal screamed. Systems exploded. And in engineering, Daeun triggered the reactor overload. For a moment, a new sun was born. The explosion tore through the moon's surface. The command hub vaporized. The horizon was gone. Taewon and Daeun were gone, but they had succeeded. In orbit, the harvester fleet stopped. Their coordination broke. Ships drifted without purpose. The ancient AI that had controlled them for 1,000,000 years was destroyed. The Valen fleet, hidden and waiting, emerged from the planets. They fired electromagnetic pulses. Not weapons designed to destroy, but tools meant to disable. The confused harvesters couldn't adapt fast enough. One by one, the machine ships went dark in the shuttle. Jiwoo watched the explosion fade. Tears ran down her face. She had lost friends. Brave friends who had given everything, but they had saved millions. They had stopped a genocide. They had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of. "Horizon Shuttle, this is Kalsei," the Valen voice came through. "The Harvester fleet is defeated." "You did it. Your crew did it." Hyan-Su took the cum. His voice was rough with emotion. "Two of our crew didn't make it. Captain Tae-won and Engineer Deung, they stayed behind." "We will remember them," Kalsei said. "Every Valen child will know their names. Every Valen alive today owes them life itself." The shuttle drifted in space. Around them, the harvester ships were going silent. The battle was over. The war was won, but the cost would never be forgotten. 3 weeks after the battle, the Valen homeworld looked different. Ships moved between the planets again. Reconstruction had begun. 7 million survivors were rebuilding a civilization that once numbered billions. Lieutenant Hyan-Su stood on a viewing platform above the main Valen city. The crystalline buildings caught the light in beautiful ways. It was hard to imagine this peaceful place had almost died. "They're asking for you," Jiwoo said, walking up beside him. "The memorial service is starting." Together they walked to the central plaza. Thousands of Valen had gathered. Their crystalline bodies reflected light like living rainbows. In the center stood a monument made of black stone from Earth. On it were carved 2 names. Captain Tae-won. Engineer Eun. Cal-S. AI stood before the monument. The Valen spoke in their musical language. Jiwoo translated quietly. "Today we remember the ones who answered our call. We remember the Deathworlders who crossed the stars to stand with us. We remember their sacrifice." The Valen fell silent. It was their way of honoring the dead. Hyan-Su bowed his head. Beside him, Bora wiped tears from her face. Yoonji held the hands of Valen children who had been saved by the Horizon's actions. After the ceremony, Kalsei approached the human survivors. "Your Earth Council has sent a fleet. They arrive tomorrow." "I know," Hyan-Su said. "They're going to ask questions. About why we broke orders. About why we interfered. And you are worried?" "A little. We were supposed to observe only. We started a war instead." Kalsei's expression was hard to read, but the translation came through clear. "You stopped a genocide. If your leaders punish you for that, they are fools." The next day, 12 Earth ships arrived. Admiral Kim led the fleet. She was a stern woman with gray hair and hard eyes. She called for all Horizon survivors to report to the flagship. The meeting was tense. Admiral Kim sat at the head of a conference table. The surviving crew stood before her. "You violated direct orders," she said. "You were told to observe and report. Instead, you engaged in military action without authorization." "Yes, Admiral," Hyan-Su replied. He was the ranking officer now. "We did. 2 crew members died. Your ship was destroyed. You started humanity's first interstellar war. We saved 7 million innocent lives." Admiral Kim stared at him. The room was silent. Then slowly she smiled. It was small but genuine. "You did. And Earth is proud of you." The crew exhaled. They hadn't realized they were holding their breath. "The Council is angry," Admiral Kim continued. "But the people back home are calling you heroes. The Valen are calling you saviors. And I'm calling you the bravest crew I've ever met." She stood and saluted. It was the highest honor in Earth's military. The crew saluted back, tears in their eyes. Over the following weeks, more happened. The Earth Council sent diplomats. The Valen Concord, the government representing all Valen worlds, formally requested an alliance with humanity, but there was more. Other alien species began arriving. They had heard about the battle, heard about the humans who fought machines that had destroyed civilizations for 1,000,000 years. Jiwoo found herself translating for a dozen different species. They all wanted to know about Earth, about humanity, about the death world that created such fierce warriors. "We're not warriors by choice," she explained to one alien delegate. We're warriors because we had to be, but we'd rather be friends. The alien was called Namseek, a strange name for a strange species. They look like floating flowers. Your world sounds terrifying. It taught us to protect each other, to help those who need it. We're not perfect, but we try. Namseek's species had also suffered from the harvesters centuries ago. They had barely survived. We ran and hid. You fought and won. You are very different from us. Different isn't bad, Guru said. Maybe together, all of us different species can be stronger. That conversation led to something bigger. Kalsei proposed creating a new organization. Not just Valen and humans, but any species willing to stand together against threats like the harvesters. We'll call it the Unity Accord, Kalsei said. Defense, cooperation, mutual protection? Hyansu was asked to train alien soldiers in human combat tactics. It was strange at first. The aliens were so different. Some were huge. Some were tiny. Some had 4 arms. Others had no arms at all, but they learned. Slowly, carefully, they learned that fighting wasn't about being cruel. It was about protecting what mattered. Bora helped with the training. She was tough but patient. Listen up, she told a group of Valen recruits. You're never going to be human. You can't be. But you can learn to think like warriors. To protect your people. That's what matters. Ungji opened a medical facility that treated multiple species. It was challenging. Every species had different biology. But she loved the work. She loved helping beings who were nothing like her. 6 months after the battle, construction began on Unity Station. It was built in neutral space between Earth and the Valen homeworld. A place where all species could meet as equals. The station was massive. It had different sections for different atmospheres and gravities. Humans walked alongside Valen. Other species joined them. Flower beings and rock people and creatures made of light. Jiwu was named Earth's ambassador to the Unity Accord. She stood in the station's main hall for the opening ceremony. Representatives from 20 different species gathered. We stand here because someone answered a call for help, she said. We stand here because 2 humans gave their lives to save people they never met. We stand here because we choose to stand together. The ceremony ended with silence. Then, one by one, each species made their sound of respect. Humans clapped. Valen chimed. Others hummed or clicked or sang. It was the sound of unity. Later that day, Hyansu walked through the memorial garden. There was a statue of the horizon, and 2 figures beside it. Tae-won and Jun forever remembered. They would have loved this, Bora said, joining him. Yeah, they would have. Do you think we did the right thing? Breaking orders, I mean. Hyansu looked at the station around them. Aliens working together. Children playing together. A future being built together. I think Captain Tae-won would say we did exactly what humans should do. We helped someone who needed it. That's always right. 1 year after the battle, Earth received another distress signal. Different species, different sector of space. They were being attacked by pirates. The Unity fleet launched immediately. 10 ships. Human captains. Valen crew. Soldiers from a dozen different worlds. Hyansu commanded the lead ship. On the bridge beside him stood Kalsei, now his co-commander. Are you ready? Hyansu asked. I learned from the best, Kalsei replied. From humans who taught me that running away isn't the only option. The fleet jumped to faster than light speed. They were carrying the promise that no civilization would face threats alone. That help would come if someone called. Back on Earth, in a museum in Seoul, there was an exhibit about the horizon. Millions visited every year. They learned about the crew who answered an alien call, about the captain and engineer who gave everything. On the wall was the final transmission from Captain Tae-won. Just 3 words sent seconds before the end. Worth it, always. Children read those words. They learned about the death world that made humanity strong. But they also learned that strength meant nothing without compassion. That power was meant to protect, not destroy, and across the galaxy other species learned something too. They learned that Earth was a hard world, that humans were fierce and dangerous and sometimes scary, but they also learned that when someone called for help, humans answered. Every time. No matter the cost, that was the real strength of humanity. That was why history was made.